semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan. Inilah permulaan melakar cita-cita, pasti akan terhasil. Ayo kita semua menuju kejayaan.
Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening. Hello students, how are you doing? How was your trial? Okay, so before we start, please let us know in the comment box, where are you watching us from? Okay. Let us know which school are you from. All right.
Hi, Azrul.
Hi. Yes, hi, Miss Aiman. Okay, shall we start now, Miss Aiman?
You will have to present first. Can
yes,
someone please remove my... Yep.
Okay. All right, so for tonight, we are going to discuss and share some tips on paper 3, which is speaking paper. So I will be presenting on part 1 and part 2, and then Miss Aiman will present on part 3. Okay, let me share my screen now. Okay, please let me know in the comment whether you can see my screen or not. Okay, can you see the slides that I'm sharing at the moment? Are we good to go?
Yep, I think good to go.
All right, okay. Okay, so before we continue to part 1, part 2, and part 3 of the speaking paper, let me just recap this once again, the weightage for each paper. So as you can see, the first one, speaking. Okay, 1 mark for speaking paper, it actually carries about 1.041% of the overall English marks. Okay, and if you compare the speaking paper to the other 3 papers, you can say that speaking paper is actually the most important one. So it actually helps to either make it or break your English result. Okay, so again, you have to do very well in speaking paper in order to score A plus or A, as a matter of fact. Okay, however, I would also stress that each paper actually matters. But please bear in mind that speaking paper is the most important paper for 1119 paper. Okay. So this is the format for the speaking paper. There are 3 parts altogether. Part 1 is the interview part. Part 2 would be the individual long turn. And the last one, part 3, which I believe is considered as the most difficult part according to many students. It is the discussion part, and followed by decision question, the hot question, the last part. Okay, so let's look at the mark distribution for speaking paper. You have an interlocutor who will award 6 marks for the overall spoken performance, and you will also have an assessor who will actually award 18 marks for grammar, 6 marks, vocabulary, 6 marks, and the last one is communicative competence, another 6 marks. So all in all, the total marks for the speaking paper is 24 marks. All right. So interlocutor will be teachers, English teacher from your school, whereas the assessor would be another English teacher from different school. Okay. So what are we looking into actually for the first component, which is grammar? All right. In order to score 5 or 6 marks for grammar, okay, remember you must maintain a high degree of grammatical accuracy, meaning to say errors are very, very rare. Or if you do commit some errors, you can actually correct the errors by yourself. Okay, meaning you realize that you made an error, so you correct immediately. Another thing is you must use a wide range of cohesive devices and connectors. So please write in the comment box below what are the examples of cohesive devices and what are the examples of connectors. Or in fact, if you can tell me what is the difference between cohesive devices and connectors would be better. Okay, please write in the comment box below. All right, I will read after this. It is actually same like writing. Okay, speaking and writing, these two are production skills. So basically, one you have to write, one you have to say it orally. So they are production skills. So you must use cohesive devices and connectors in speaking as well. Okay, the second component, which is vocabulary. Okay, how to score the marks of 5 or 6. Okay, you must use wide range of vocabulary to give and exchange views, and you must be able to convey differences in meaning. So for the first bullet point, use wide range of vocabulary. It is advisable for you to use synonym words. So this is the easiest one for you to actually use a wide range of vocabulary in your speaking. Okay, synonymous words. The last component, which is the communicative competence, this is where we look at how the candidate is able to express express himself or herself spontaneously with little obvious searching for elaborations. Okay, meaning you are very fluent, you are very smooth in delivering your points or very smooth in your discussion. All right. And the second point here is you can initiate, maintain, develop, and close a conversation. This is actually for part 3, the discussion part. So you must have sort of discussion during part 3. All right. So in part 1, what you should expect in part 1 is, I'm sure you are very familiar with speaking test by now. All right. So just to recap, in part 1, you will be asked a few general questions, and there are 2 phases. So in phase 1, questions like what's your name, where do you live, how do you come to school? Okay, these are the common questions which you will be asked. All right. And as for phase 2, you will be asked on general topics. So famous topics are like daily routine, hobbies, friends, or clothing, or it could be anything under the sun. Okay, so general topics. So the purpose of part 1 is actually to get you comfortable with the speaking test, okay, to warm you up for the speaking test. All right. And for part 1, okay, no marks will be awarded. So don't worry if you make mistake in part 1, don't worry, because no marks will be awarded. So here is an example of questions in phase 1 of part 1. So as you can see here, questions like what's your name, and then where do you live or where do you come from, or how do you come to school. So basically these are the basic questions that you will get in phase 1 of part 1. All right, so how to answer the question? What's your name, for example? Okay, you can answer in full sentence or you can give short answer. All right, it is fine. Next, what about in phase 2? Okay, in phase 2, as I mentioned just now, general topics. For example, here, daily routine. So there are 4 questions and you will need to answer 2 out of 4 questions here. All right, and the questions are chosen randomly by the interlocutor. And don't worry if you do not understand the question or if you do not hear clearly the question, you can ask the interlocutor to repeat the questions. Okay? But you are not allowed to ask for the meaning of certain words because interlocutor will not help you. Okay, we're not supposed to tell you the meaning of the words. We can only repeat the questions, yeah? Okay, so here are some tips for part 1. As I said, no marks will be awarded in part 1. Therefore, if you misheard the question or if you're like, feeling nervous and then you do not really catch what the interlocutor said, you can just ask the interlocutor to repeat the question. Okay, and also, if possible, try to answer the questions asked in a complete sentence because it would be much better rather than giving a short answer. Okay, but again, don't worry if you prefer to give short answer because you want to save those words or sentences in part 2 and part 3. It is fine. All right.
Yep. Azrak, may I add?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
You mentioned that no marks will be awarded. Students, no marks will be awarded for this part of the test. But then again, this is the very beginning of your speaking test. And I'm sure that if you are able to start off good, you will feel good till the end. Okay, definitely, kita nak start with a bang. Gitu.
Yeah,
And
sort
close
of
with a
give
bang
the
as well.
first impression to the
Yeah,
assessor, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Okay, next, part 2. Okay, so in part 2, each of you will be given a topic, all right? And you have only 20 seconds for preparation and 1 minute for you to deliver your answer. All right, so for part 2, the problem that I always notice among students is that they don't know how to start or what to say or how to answer part 2. So actually, all right, for part 2, please remember these 4 tips. Number 1, you should answer all questions. Okay, I don't say you must, you should. Okay, because you are given only 1 minute to deliver your answer. Sometimes when you like elaborate too much on point one and 2, so you don't have much time left to elaborate the other 2 points. It's fine, but if possible, try to answer all questions. And elaboration seems to be the problem here. So how to elaborate? Just like writing paper, you should elaborate the answers by using the WH questions. So what are the WH questions? Could you please list in the comment box? Okay, we will look at your answers after this. All right. And again, use cohesive devices and connectors. This is very, very crucial. Okay, using cohesive devices and connectors because marks will be awarded for grammar. And the last one, let's say there's 1 or 2 questions that you don't really understand, but you know the topic very, very well. So you may add other points provided the points are related to the topic. Okay. All right. I've actually prepared one answer template for part 2, and actually I've been using this template with my students, and it helps them to answer part 2 because we can see connection, we can see a flow when they answer part 2. So I would propose the answer template for part 2 like this. First, you have the introduction. All right, so you can just memorize this sentence. Today, I'm going to talk about, all right, you will be given a topic, so you just reread the topic, okay? And then after you have given the introduction, you can start with the body answers. This is where you answer all 4 bullet points, all right? And after you have answered all 4 bullet points, you must or you should give a conclusion. Okay, use cohesive device like in short and then sum up the topic. All right. So I have one example after this, which I'm pretty sure it will give you a clearer picture of what this template is going to look like. All right. So let's practice. I'm going to give you one question. So the question is an important item. All right. Talk about something important that you own. You should say what the item is, how long you have had it, what you use it for, and why it is important to you. All right. Remember, you have 20 seconds only to prepare for this topic. Okay, so I'm going to give you more than 20 seconds. All right, this is not exam, so don't worry. I'm going to give you maybe 4 minutes for you to share your answers for each of the bullet points in the comment box. Is that okay? And I'm going to read some of your answers. All right, students? Okay, your 4 minutes starts from now. Okay, maybe Miss Aiman, you can help me to read some of the students' answers.
You can write your answer in the comment section. Sorry, in the live chat box.
You just write in point forms. No need to give me the elaboration, right? Because 20 seconds only for you to prepare. Okay, 3 more minutes. Come, let me see the... Okay.
No one have commented yet.
Alamak. Come on, students. Please share your answers on this topic. Okay, what the item is, how long you have had it, what you use it for, why it is important to you. Okay, just give us the points only. What are you going to say if you are given this topic? Who knows, this topic might, come up in SPM. All right. Anyone? Has anyone answered? Alamak, tak ada lagi,
Darwish, where are you?
Ha,
Kita petik je nama.
kita petik nama. Okay, if no one shares his or her opinion yet, it's okay. Let's just continue. All right. So number one, before you deliver your points, okay, in part two, remember you need to be quick. You need to know what type of tense should be used in this question for this particular question. So can you tell me, is the answer should be in present tense or past tense? Present tense or past tense? Has anyone commented present tense or past tense?
No one.
No one. Okay, student, for this question, the type of tense that you must use is present tense. Okay, because the question for the first one, what the item is. So the be verb is signifies that the tense should be in present tense. Okay. And then question number two or bullet number two, how long you have had it. This is present perfect. Bullet number three, what you use it for. This is like a fact, so it should be in present tense. And the last one, why it is important to you. So it is. So again, this is present tense. So for this question, you must deliver or you must give your answer in present tense. All right, so let's look at the sample answer here. Okay, introduction. Today, I'm going to talk about, all right, remember I said just substitute the topic, an essential item that I own. So let's say if you cannot use synonym, essential, so you can just reread the question just now. Today, I'm going to talk about an important item that I own. But, okay, it would be best if you can use as many synonym words as possible in order to get more marks for vocabulary. Okay, please remember that. At least, one or two words. All right, that should be fine. Then to answer question number one, okay, one possession that holds great significance is my e-watch that my father gave me on my 14th birthday. So, did this candidate answer question number one? What was question number one just now? What the item is. So, the item is my e-watch. So, bullet number one, tick, already answered. Question number two. I have owned this e-watch for almost 2 years and it has a lot of sentimental values to me. So, question number two just now, how long you have had it? So, this candidate mentioned for almost 2 years. Next, question number three. What was question number three just now? What you use it for? Okay, this watch has multifunctional functions. It mainly tells time and helps me to manage my schedule. Moreover, it can also be used to make calls and send text messages, hence allowing me to connect with my loved ones. Okay, let's look at the sample sentences in question number three here. All right. Actually, there are a few points, okay, where the candidates try to elaborate or try to give points for question number three, what you use it for. There are a few points here. Tells time, manage my schedule, make calls and send text messages. However, this candidate is very smart because instead of combining all 3 points together in one sentence, this candidate actually break down the sentences into a few sentences, into 2 sentences if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it mainly tells and moreover. Because why? Because the candidate wants to use cohesive device moreover here. Okay, so again, you can decide here, all right, which question that you think you can elaborate a lot. So make sure you use cohesive devices in those questions. But I think usually question number 3 and number 4 are the questions where you can elaborate more. All right, question number 1 and number 2 are usually straightforward answers. All right, okay, is that clear? Okay, make sure you use cohesive devices. We have moreover, we have hence here. All right. Next one, question number 4. Why it is important to you? The e-watch is meaningful to me because every time I wear it, it reminds me of my dad. 1 point. Okay, one reason why the e-watch is important to you. And then this candidate has another point. So remember, you use cohesive device to add one more point. Okay, furthermore, all right, please avoid repetition. Don't repeat moreover. Use other cohesive devices as well. Okay, we don't want your answer to sound very repetitive, so use the other cohesive devices. There are a lot of cohesive devices. Yeah. So furthermore, it holds a very special place. Missing there. It holds a very special place in my heart as it is a precious gift from beloved dad. Okay, so there are 2 points here. All right, so if you decide to give 2 points, make sure you use cohesive devices like moreover, furthermore, or besides, or in addition, additionally. So these are the cohesive devices that you can use to add new points. All right, and since you have introduction just now, make sure you have a conclusion as well. So what is the conclusion for this topic? In short, okay, sum up the whole topic. In short, one significant thing that I own is definitely my e-watch. So basically, you just recap everything. The sentence is very short, but it is a complex sentence because of the subordinating conjunction that there. All right, so what do you think of this answer? Is it a good answer or meh, biasa-biasa sahaja? What do you think, students? Do you like this answer? And can you see how this template works? Do you think it's easy for you to answer part 2 by following this template? Let me know in the comment box. Okay?
Azra, we're waiting for their response. There's a question here from
Okay.
Lone Hunter. What happened if we stutter a bit like
All right, that is fine. If you stutter, I don't think that is a stutter. It's like pauses. Like if you have pauses,
pauses? Yeah,
it's fine. Okay,
feelers
we are
lah,
not.
feelers.
Yes, fillers. Yeah, correct. We are not native speaker. Please remember that English is just our second language. It is fine to have here and there. It is fine. Okay, students. Right. Don't let that be a hindrance. Okay. Since this is speaking test, so we just want to see you speak. That's all. Okay. Don't worry about giving the right or wrong answer. Okay. There's no right or wrong answer actually. Okay. The only thing that matters or the only thing that is right or wrong is the tenses that you use. Yeah. So remember, since this is speaking test, we just want to see you speak. So just speak. All right. Okay. So any more question? Any other questions?
I think
Yeah.
that's it. We only have one question.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. If that's the case, then shall we proceed to part 3, Miss Aiman?
Part 3 already. Okay.
We will take more questions after this. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Anas, can you please put in my. Yep. Thank you very much. Okay, so I control from here. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're going to move on to part 3 of your speaking test. Like what Miss Azra mentioned just now, part 3 is the discussion part. Okay. First of all, it is very important that you understand what to expect in part 3. So remember that it is divided into 2 parts. The first part you will discuss in a 6 prompt based on the mind map, and then you will have to answer a question based on the subject discussed. And normally, this is a part where you have to make a decision together, meaning to say you have to come to conclusion, both of you. Okay. I think by knowing what are the things going to be asked in part 3, knowing what to do, then you will be able to do it well. Now, for part 3, even though you'll be having a discussion, actually the time given is not that much. Okay, you only given 2 minutes. I think if you've been practicing, early this year, we have shared Sora with you. And I think that if, let's say, you have practiced that, and I'm sure that 2 minutes is, like nothing, okay? It can fly by really, really fast. All right. And then for making a decision, you only have like 1 minute for you to discuss. So you need to work really well together with your partner in order for you to come up with a decision within that 1 minute. Okay. Now, before we move on, let's look at what the question wants. Sekejap macam lari je Azrul. Slide ni ha. Sekejap ya sis ni.
Your slide, is it?
Ya, my slide. Oh, tak lari. Oh, okay. Aku je yang tukar-tukar rupanya. Okay. So now, what is it that the assessor look for in your part 3? Okay, in part 3, one of the ways for you to improve your speaking score is by improving your communicative competence score. I think by improving your communicative competence score, you can somehow improve your overall score. Okay, because like what Ms. Azra mentioned earlier, 1 mark is equivalent to 1%. So I think for discussion, this is a part where you can really like plan and practice with your partner in order to showcase to the examiner that number one, can you, because these are the things that the assessor wants to know, whether you know how to begin a discussion, whether you are able to listen and respond to your partner in an appropriate way, whether you can keep the conversation going, and whether you can ask your partner questions. Allah, ni tak nampak pula. Ni tutup ni, next slide. Teruk lah. Okay. Whether you can ask your partner's question, and whether you can take turns with your partner, speaking when it's your turn, but also giving your partner the chance to speak. Now, knowing that these are the aspects that people want to see in communicative competence to show that you can carry out a communicative discussion, you have to practice with your partner. You cannot, even though you are fluent in English, still you have to practice with your partner. Otherwise, not knowing how to work together, not knowing how to take turn together, it will end up being another long-term task. Dia akan jadi, kalau you don't know how to discuss with your partner, it will end up jadi seperti part 2, where each of you will talk individually 1 minute. And that is not what we want. We have already seen you talking individually in part 2. What we want to see in part 3 is your ability to discuss and communicate with your partner. And that is very important. Some students, the good students, because they are already good, they don't discuss with their partner. They don't practice with their partner. They feel that, during the test, yeah, no doubt they can speak in English. But then again, Azrul, whether or not they can discuss with their partner. Okay? So, yep, before I move, to my next slides, can everyone please comment? Is everything okay? Do you still follow me? Can I move on to the next slide? Kalau tidak, I macam
Miss Aiman, I have one question.
Yep.
So would you say that it's quite difficult to get a score of 5 or 6 for speaking?
No, it's not. Because, these are things, you have to demonstrate this. It has got nothing to do with, your ability, your knowledge of a content, how much vocab that you know, whether your grammar is correct or not. So these are aspects that you can somehow practice and develop certain strategy with your partner and build that chemistry. I think by having that chemistry, definitely you can show you have a really good communicative task. And I love your questions. Later I will, address this in my next slides and see how we can pretend and,
Okay, there's one question. If I may read the question to you. Right,
Yep.
Teacher, if our partner have a problem to speak, can we help them with the
Faris, that is your question is actually in my question is actually in my slide. So Faris, stay tuned.
All right, Faris, stay tuned.
Okay. All right. So let's have a look at the question. This is the questions given to you in your buku format penjajaran for SPM. Sayang, tolong bawa anak keluar. Sayang. So everyone can hear my son. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, I've labeled the question, sorry, the points, speaker one, speaker two, speaker one, speaker two. So, Faris, it is very important that you delegate your tasks with your partner, okay, so that both of you will have equal opportunity to get married and to showcase your ability. Okay, and everyone, I strongly encourage you to go back to one of my session, my previous session on speaking as well, because I've already shared the strategy for part three in details. But for today, tonight, I just want to touch on the issues that normally come up in your speaking test. All right. Okay. So yeah, just now we talk about how it is important for us to improve our communicative competence score in order for us to improve the overall score for your speaking test. Okay, so how to do this? Number one, make sure that you take short turns. Why you need to take short turns? Because when you take short turns, the likelihood of you to make mistakes is lower. When you try to over elaborate, what will happen is that you will get stuck midway, and then you have nothing to say and it's going to be very awkward. Remember, we want to show a really good discussion, so take short turns. Okay, you don't have to talk, drag and elaborate really long. Okay, number two, use body language. Body language is an important tool for you to utilize in your speaking test because it helps you to deliver your idea better. So what you can do here is, bila you pakai body language ni, you can express yourself lebih baik lah. Okay, what you can do, number one, is turn towards your partner and make eye contact with your partner. Azra, I don't know why, I think muka I ni macam penyayang lah juga. But the thing is, during speaking test, my students love to look at me. Normally, I'm the assessor. And then they'll be like, oh, takut tengok muka teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They would
why?
say that
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, I agree.
Takkan muka baik macam ni pun tak takut kan. So what you can do here is don't make eye contact with me, with your assessor. Nanti in SPM it's going to be your assessor lah. So don't make eye contact with me. Instead, make eye contact with your partner, because you're supposed to have discussion with your partner, not with your teacher, bukan dengan your interlocutor. Okay, so by looking at your partner, it will help you to make the conversation more natural. It will help you to relax. Okay, and make sure that you look interested in what your partner is saying. Okay, because even if, let's say, your partner is the most boring person you've ever met, you need to pay attention to what they're saying so that you can respond appropriately. Remember, ini semua adalah pentas lakonan. Macam tu. Tengok dapat, oh, okay, macam tu, angguk-angguk sikit kan. Okay. Next, point number three is, to improve your communicative competence score, learn how to express your opinion. I think I've already shared this in our previous session, okay? And not just express your opinion, but you have to also justify your opinion. Because here, when you are able to justify your opinion, itu terus menunjukkan your critical thinking. You punya, kematangan berfikir lah. By just expressing things yang, let's say, taken from the mind map, that is basic. I mean, ini pun, let's say, kalau some of the weaker students, I mean, kalau you have issues, if, let's say, you can express opinion, that is already enough. Okay, and finally, use useful phrases and expression to help you deliver your ideas better. So in short, use sora-sora. I have shared this in my previous session. So if, let's say, you have missed that, I've discussed in detail on how to utilize sora-sora, but for tonight, I will still address it, but very, very, superficial aja lah ni, on the surface saja lah. I'm not going to go into detail. So how to use sora-sora to carry out and maintain a communicative discussion? So what is sora-sora? S is for start your discussion, and then you give your opinion, and then you give your reason, and then you ask for your partner's opinion. So speaker two, what you can do here is, Okay, say again and agree with your partner. Give your opinion, give your reason, and ask for your partner's opinion. So, Azrul, just now we talk about taking turns, so giving short responses and whatnot. So these are using Sorosoro will help you to fulfill and tick all of the semua ni, all these points. It will help you take short turns because you need to ask for your partner's opinion. Definitely, you cannot look at me and say, "What do you think?" Definitely you're gonna have to look at your partner. What do you think? Betul tak? Okay, and then it helps you to express your opinion, and then it provides you with a variety of useful phrases and expressions that you can use. So far, students, you still follow? Okay lagi kah? Okay, on tak on? Okay. Dia like sikit kan? Their responses nanti akan like a few
Yeah, yeah.
seconds said. Okay.
Yes.
Please write in the comment, sorry, in the live chat box whether um, you are clear with what I've shared so far, or do I have to address anything on? Okay, manusia kata on. Manusia kata on, kita on. Okay. So
Miss
this is an
Miss Aman,
example. Yeah.
can you go back to the previous slide? Sorry. Okay, the second S in the second surah, say again and agree with your partner. Is it
Mm.
okay for for students to actually omit the first part of saying again that, or just straight away
Okay.
agree with the partner and then straight away give their opinion? Because I think for some good students, when they say again the point, it seems like they're wasting precious time, rather than repeating
Yeah,
the.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
is beneficial
uh,
for the weak students. This helps them a lot.
okay.
Mm.
Allow me to. Okay. Now, when it comes to good students, for the weaker students, definitely I would suggest that they say again and agree with their partner. But for good students, they don't really have to say again. Probably they can respond to what their friends have said. Okay. Instead of saying again, they can, like word for word. I don't really mean that you have to say word for word. What I mean here is that you say again the point. Meaning to say, if let's say you talk about better prices, so, yeah, totally. I understand why you say that better prices is reason why people prefer to shop online. So, itu saja, just the point, not the reason. If let's say you have other things that you want to put in, you have other opinions that you want, reasons that you want to include as to why you agree with your partner, yeah, they may do so. In fact, remind the good students have to understand this. Don't rush your discussion in a way that you nak cakap point you. No, by responding to your friends, they taking the time to respond to your partner, that will show that you are a good listener, and we want good listener. We want to see that you are able to respond appropriately to your partner, even though you tak sempat nak cakap point you, but the fact that you know how to respond to your partner, that is already good. Don't feel that you have to finish everything. No, tak ada pun. Remember, what we want to see here is a good discussion. That's all. Okay, but then Azrul, um, even if they want to respond, I mean, kenapa benda ni macam ni? Because sometimes there are things. Sometimes students will feel that okay, their point is too difficult, and they have nothing for them to talk about when they want to elaborate their own point. So by having this, when they can say again and agree with their partner, what they can do here is to compensate to the fact that for their own point they cannot talk about it, they can talk about and respond to their partner's points, so they can still score. Cool.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right,
Thank you.
let's move on. Okay, so this is a sample what do you call that, sample discussion. If let's say you use the sora-sora, so can we can we kelakon kan? Okay, you nak jadi which one? Speaker one or speaker two? Lali tamplum.
I
Rock,
speaker
paper,
two.
scissor. Speaker two. Okay.
Yes.
Shall I start first, Azrul?
Yes, sure.
Azrul, I feel people like to shop online because there are no crowds. Azrul, I say this because if you go shopping, let's say during Hari Raya or, Chinese New Year or Deepavali, there will be a lot of people. But if you shop online, that will not be a problem. What do you think?
Yes, I completely agree with you, Aiman. As you said, some people shop online because they don't like crowds. I think time saving is also a reason why people shop online. My reason for saying this is because some people are very busy with work and they don't have time to go shopping. Don't you agree with me, Aiman?
I was just thinking that. I agree that time saving is why people shop online. But if you ask me, people also shop online because they can get better prices because there are many sales online. Do you have anything to add?
You make some great points there when you said people prefer online shopping because it offers better prices. But don't you think people prefer online shopping as it is more convenient for them? My reason is simple. You don't need to get dressed and drive to your favorite store. You can easily visit their website, find the product you want, and buy it without getting out of your pajamas. What say you?
So yeah, basically this is the flow. Okay. And as you can see, for step S, everything is there already in the mind map. You don't really have to like crack your head for you to do step S. Step O, okay, still also in the text, okay, in the mind map. Step R is the only step that you have to think of the idea on your own. And that is why, if you notice in the sample script, sample dialogue, you can see that for step R, my response, the answers are not really long. It's very short and simple. Sedang-sedang aja. Tak lengthy pun. And then step A, definitely lah, asking you for your partner's opinion is just a piece of cake. So I would like to remind students again that when you want to give reason, it doesn't have to be lengthy. Remember, bila you have short response, especially for your reason lah, okay, you give short response, you will allow satu, you will not appear like you don't know things. Okay, kita tutup sikit lah ruang untuk menunjukkan kelemahan kita tu. And it allows both of you to cover many points. And you have the exchange of opinions to berlaku, back and forth. Bouncing of ideas to berlaku. Okay? So, yeah. Can I move on to the next slide? Okay. Now, we have issues. Okay, just now I think Muhammad Faris Fauzi asked me this question. So, how to deal with a reluctant partner? Yeah, we had our trial the other day, and I can see that many of my students, this is based on my school, many of my students, um, they love their friend and they want to be paired with their friends. This is, their BFF. But then again, their friend a bit reluctant. Okay, so we have a situation where where partner won't stop talking. Oh, so this one partner won't stop talking about the same point. Ini apa salah aku bubuh sini? Reluctant partner won't talking about the same point. Sorry Ezra. I buat tadi.
It's okay, it's okay.
Kata difficult. Okay, talkative partner. Sorry. Okay, so this one is not reluctant. Your partner is, very talkative. Your partner won't stop talking about the same point. So your partner is sort of like dominating the discussion lah. So what you can do here is interrupt your partner in a polite way. That is interesting point, but what do you think about this idea? Okay. Okay, let's discuss the next point. Shall we move on to the next point now? Or, things like that. Or you can just masuk your step for sora-sora. Yes, that is an interesting point. I understand why you say so. So interrupt in a polite way. So I think by using just masuk aja, you don't have to wait for them. Like let them finish off their idea. If you feel like, okay, you have given me one elaboration, okay, and then another elaboration, don't wait for your friend to give like third elaboration. It's not that your friends akan dapat extra point pun. Here, remember, we want both of you to score. So yeah, interrupt in a polite way. That is an interesting idea, Azra. I understand why you say that people prefer to shop online because it gives them better prices. But don't you think, Azra, this is also, terus move on. You don't have to wait for your partner. Okay? So this is if you have kawan you yang memang fluent, asyik cakap macam. But then, inilah Then you have a reluctant partner, like what Faris said. Your partner just don't want to talk. So the solution would be ask them questions. Because you see, no, in Sora Sora, you have already asked your partner question. Betul? You have already asked your partner questions. Okay. So what you can do here is ask the question again. If let's say after 5 seconds, your partner still don't say anything, and then you ask them the question again. What do you think, Azra, about this point? Which one do you prefer? What do you think of my idea when I said this? You can ask for your partner. You know, that kind of question. Bukannya your partner tak tahu, but it's just that, blur ke, blank ke, waktu tu suddenly they just, they can't talk. Or if let's say, during what do we call that, the final questions, okay, your partner just don't want to talk, ask your partner question. You see, Azrael, I think that asking your partner question is very important. Why? Because it shows that you try to engage your partner in the discussion. You think about other people lah. And I mean, for me, I want that because I have, Azrael, students will be like, they know that their partner a bit reluctant, and then dia buat muka pula kita, like making eye contact with me. Teacher tengok tadi dia tak mau cakap. I know that, you don't have to, that is not really good attitude lah to show to your examiner or the assessor. So try to engage others and, rope them in your discussion. Okay?
Okay, yeah. Miss Aiman, I have one
Yeah.
question. What regarding this reluctant partner? I've seen a few cases where one good student is paired with average or weak student. So when the good student asks his or her partner, what do you think? The common answer this reluctant student would give is, yes, I agree. That's all. So how
Okay.
do you tackle this problem?
First of all, remind your students you are paired with a good student, so you are lucky. Marah pula. You are lucky. Teach them that you have to listen to your partner, because in Sora Sora you have step S where you say again and agree with your partner. You dah tahu dah kata you don't know how to give reason for your own point. Listen to your partner and steal your partner's point. I totally agree with you when you said this, better prices, because like what you said just now, yeah, it offers a lot of discounts, because I've also bought something from TikTok using discounts and vouchers macam tu, and then only they go to their point. But I think, they talk about their point, and then if let's say they cannot give reason, skip step R, and then go to step A. Okay, Ezra?
Okay, yes.
I feel like, now it doesn't, it feels like I'm like giving up personal tutoring and mentoring to Azrul pula. Kaiman, kalau macam ni macam mana Kaiman? Okay, now let's move on to the final question. Okay, the final questions. I don't know how you call this final question. I always tell my students the final question is the kebat question or the HOTS question. And my students be like, oh susahnya, takutnya, getaknya nak jawab, HOTS questions, kebat questions. And I'm like, lah, nak takut apa? There's always a way for you. I love speaking tests because there's so many ways for you to sort of, muhong your way to get a good mark. So what you can do here is, because you already know that the question is going to be difficult, plan what you want to do. Plan how you're going to respond. Number one, to respond to the final question, remember that you need to buy time to think of ideas. Ini the final question ni, I'm referring to the kebat question yang bila, your interlocutor ask for your booklet, and then that's it. The last question dia tanya pada you. Okay, now you've been talking about it. Now let's hear your opinion on this. Itu. Okay. So remember, for this part, you're not given time to think. After the interlocutor asks you the question, you're expected to respond almost spontaneously. Because if you remember, Azrul, for overall performance, students should, demonstrate ability to respond spontaneously. So, bila you tak diberi masa for you to think of what you want to say, You need to learn how to buy time so that you can think of, your idea. Now, number two, you have to apply the 3A step in order for you to stretch longer response. For final questions, you are given 2 minutes for you, both you and your partner to lawan lah siapa nak respon dulu. Okay, ikutlah kalau kata kawan you respon lebih, you dengar aje lah kat tepi tu. But that 2 minutes is for both of you, not your partner 2 minutes, you 2 minutes. No, 2 minutes is for the both of you. Okay? So apply 3A step to stretch longer response. Okay? Actually kan, I come up with the 3A's ni kan. Like an hour ago. Actually, I have been using this. I've been teaching my students how to use it. But lah kan, Zanura always come up with all these catchy names kan. So I thought, I have to come up with the catchy names as well. So I'm like, so pathetic. And I'm like, 3A saja lah. Okay, so yeah, apply 3A step to stretch longer response. And number three, you can also apply Sora when you want to steal your partner's idea. Let's say, I am paired with Azro. Azro is the excellent boy. So Azro respond, cakap panjang-panjang. And I'm like, that is a good idea. And they'll be like, that is interesting idea, Azro. I understand that when you say, I ulang balik everything that Azro has said. So, I can still apply that Sora. So don't feel that Sora is just for you to do in part, in the discussion just now when you talk about the, what do you call that? The mind map. Okay, so let's see how you can buy time to think of ideas. So when you want to buy time, okay, Amirul, you don't have to give ideas to your friend. Tell your friend, weh, hang ni bila aku cakap, cuba hang dengar. Ini orang ada cakap mengelamun. Jangan. Tell your friend, listen to me when I give ideas. Later, you just tiru my idea. And that is okay. Sure tak, BI? You can tiru your friend's idea and make it look like you are responding to your friends. You pay attention to your friends. So, macam tu. When you want to buy time to think of ideas, ask the interlocutor to repeat the question. Jangan duk buat, apa dia? Tak faham. I don't understand, teacher. What? I don't understand, teacher. No. Never say I don't understand. Because in overall performance, ada sebut ke kalau you nak dapat band 6 markah full 6 for overall performance yang teacher you bagi tu, you must show your teacher that you can understand question easily. Betul tak, Azra? Kau hang lupa dah.
Yes, you are right. Yes. Yes. So, but then again, for the HOTS question, is it supposed to be a discussion? Because some students they macam, what do you think? It's like, are we having another discussion part for the HOTS question? Because that one is already in the the discussion
You
of the
can.
mind map.
It's not wrong. You can have a good discussion. Because why? Daripada situ, kalau you want to give your whole opinion for that 1 minute, definitely you cannot do that. But if you interact with your friend, you can somehow, macam mana? Tipu sikit lah the assessor. That you are having a good discussion, but then you are off track. But that's okay. We are going to assume, alamak, both of them tersalah faham. But that is okay, but you're still discussing. Okay, what we want to see is the more you talk, the more you will get marked. So just talk. Again, don't ask, when you want to ask the interlocutor to repeat the question, say something along this line lah. I'm really sorry, teacher, I didn't quite catch that. Bila kata I didn't quite catch that, it will appear as if you didn't hear. Cikgu you tu yang cakap tak clear. But if you say, I'm sorry, teacher, I don't understand. Jangan never say I don't understand. Okay? When your teacher repeat the question, you can use that time to think of what you want to say. There's two situations here, Azrul. Number one is either the first time you already understand the question, still just ask the interlocutor to repeat the question. By asking the interlocutor to repeat the question, you will have extra 17 seconds if I'm not mistaken. So seize that time. Aku ada time kalau ulang balik lebih kurang dalam 15 seconds lah, which normally thinking time for a speaking test is around 20 seconds. So 15 seconds is already good. Okay. Next, step number 2. Apply 3A step. Alamak, salah, ada S pula. 3A step to stretch longer responses. Number 1, what you can do is admire the question. Mr. Azrul, that's an interesting question. I've never been asked that question before. And then step 2, you admit that your answer might be wrong because it is a hot question, right? And you pun tak tahu because the question is difficult. So, and it's okay kalau jawapan salah, doesn't matter. But you're trying your best to respond to this. Hello, teacher. Appreciate my effort sikit. Macam tu kan. But then, teacher, I have to be honest, I'm not an expert in this. Therefore, I might be wrong. Then you go to answering the question. The way I see it, I feel that, okay, so by having all this, prepared responses, you can somehow stretch a longer response. Sometimes students understand the question and they know how to respond. I still encourage them to, follow these 3 steps before they start answering the questions. Because by doing this, then only it will appear as if they can really talk for that whole, 2 minutes or so. Okay, so this is the sample response if you apply the 3A step. Okay, that's an interesting question, Mr. Azro. I have to be honest, I've never been asked that question before. But you know what? If I am honest with you, I'm not an expert in this, and therefore I might be wrong. However, the way I see it, I feel that social media makes people want to shop more because it gives them better prices. My response is actually taken from my map sebenarnya. Okay, when actually the question asks you, kata kalau the question asks you, in what ways does advertising on social media influence people's buying behavior? Okay, so I cuma dengar social media saja, the only words that I understand. Influence people's buying behavior, buy, okay, people buy, okay, cukup lah. Social media, people buy, cukup lah. So I can make sense from that, people buy from social media. And I just give any answer. So, but because normally, Azrul, the hot question is going to be like the theme is related to the discussion that you had previously. So definitely you can link, whatever discussion that you have, and use that to help you form a response for the final question. Okay.
Yeah, so can they like literally take one of the points from the mind maps to answer the hot question? Because I get this question a lot from the students.
Oh, they can. Definitely they can. It's just a matter of whether or not it's right or wrong. I mean,
yeah, agree.
but then Azra, we have like 3 steps, and before you say that last words too, you'll be like, you have already admit that you're not an expert. You have already admit that you might be wrong. You already admit that you've never been asked this question. Wow, this question is so challenging, and then when you give that kind of response, it's okay as long as you respond something. And sometimes, Azra, in like a normal conversation, you takkan dipenalize for communicative competence. Kalau you jawab salah, you will be penalized in either vocab, and normally vocab lah, or either overall performance ke. But then if let's say you have already shown, you dah responded, you have already responded. So for them to penalize you, definitely not for communicative competence. Probably they will penalize you in, I don't know, overall performance or vocab. Tak boleh penalize you for communicative competence. You responded. So that's why kita kata the strategy here is to score for communicative competence. Okay? So far, students okay ke? Hello? Hello from the other side?
No one
Okay.
posts any comments yet.
No one posts any comments. No. How can I
Yeah.
help them? Okay. All right. Lone Hunter, thank you very much. All right. Next step. Apply soro-soro when you want to steal your partner's idea. So let's say Azrul responded first and then Azrul said all those things lah. Azrul pun cakap just now here. oh teacher, that's an interesting question lah, blah 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 blah. And then, Azrul said, I feel that social media makes people want to shop because it gives them better prices. I'm the one who, just sitting next to Azrul and just listening to you, and they'll be like, that's an idea. So I'll be like, yeah, you're absolutely right, Azra. I totally agree with you when you say that social media gives better prices. In my opinion, I also think social media makes people spend more because it offers better prices. Again, I'm repeating the same idea, but I just expand it a little bit more. My reason is simple. Take TikTok, for example, Azra. TikTok Shop offers a lot of discount and vouchers. What do you think? And then Azro will be like, huh, TikTok. Yeah, you are right, TikTok. Remember, there's one time Azro pun start, incorporating your own experience to make up to the fact that you tak faham soalan tu, you utilize and put in your experience to relate to the questions, to engage in the discussion more, you put cerita apa you buat, and that is okay. You still talk, isn't it? And then you'll be like, okay, and then you probably you can back and forth until you feel like enough. And if let's say the interlocutor pun macam dah okay, they have enough evidence, they know already how to give you marks, they will definitely going to stop you. Okay. Any question?
Yeah, I like your point, the point that you mentioned just now, relate to personal experience whenever the students, out of ideas. That's a good
Mm.
one. Yeah, so students, you can
Actually,
apply that. Yeah.
yeah, I think relating to your personal opinion is so much better as compared to you want to give factual reasons lah, okay, based on facts. Because sometimes on the spot too, sometimes you kind of blank, okay, but then you have experiences, you have recycled before, you shop online before, you went on a trip before, definitely you can utilize those experiences and put in. And I feel that if you use your personal experiences, you can somehow provide a longer response. Students, any question? Especially if we have Form 4 students here. And Form 4 students, if you have any questions to prepare you for your exam, um, let me know. Okay, here we have a question here. What's the difference between giving reason and benefit? Sometimes tertukar. Giving reasons and benefits. Okay, here macam ni lah. Katakanlah soalan tu, if let's say the question is, about apa contoh ha? Why people shop online? Okay, just now, macam just now. Okay, can we go back to the slide? This one. Okay. Loan hunter. The question here is why people shop online. Okay, people shop online because all of these reasons. And don't you think that all of these reasons are the benefits of, people do something because it gives them this benefit. People prefer to shop online because the benefit is it has no crowds, it's time savings, gives them better prices, more convenient, wide variety. So these are also the benefits. Am I answering your question, Lone Hunter? Nama macam-macam Lone Hunter lah. Ke I yang salah faham your question? Please. Yeah. Please let me know. Am I answering your question? Any other question? Ada tak any parts yang you are not clear? Okay. Azro, boleh tak try? Do you think that 3As ni can apply to your student?
Yeah, yeah. I think this would be very, very helpful to the students because I can see that they have problems in answering the hot question. Okay, what if they do very, very well in the discussion part, but then for the hot question, they aren't able to, to do as well as in the discussion part, will that affect their marks?
Don't do well, you mean in terms of what? Their answers are wrong? Or they
It's like
just
they cannot
refuse to
give,
respond?
yeah, they cannot give good elaboration. They cannot basically answer the question in the hot question. Will that affect the
Okay.
marks?
All right. For the hot question, if let's say they use this 3A step, okay, and then they just take any of the point and make it as their answer, the way I see it, I feel that it's because of social media. It's because of better waste management. Is because anything lah. Just take any of the prompts from the mind map and put that as their answer, and then ask their partner. Their partner will do the same thing as well. Okay, and then after the second partner, the partner have already given his or her response. Just say, "That's all from us, teacher. Thank you." Dah. Let's just end it.
Okay, so they don't have
End
to
it.
wait until the 2 minute is up.
No, no.
Right.
They just
Okay.
say
Right.
it to the interlocutor. That's all from us, teacher. Thank you. Dah.
All right. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Because
So
they know
students,
already they cannot,
yeah.
they know already that they cannot really elaborate on that part. But it is
Mhm.
very important that jangan tunjuk kata you don't know how to respond to that. That's why you can apply this 3A step. So that you respond spontaneously. It's just that your answer might be wrong. So cannot penalize on communicative competence, will penalize for something else. Okay? Macam tu. But then this requires lots of practice juga lah. When they want to admire the question, let them come up with their own phrases or sentences that they want to use. Let them prepare their own. Because if we give them, it will not going to sound, you know, natural. Yeah, they have to come up with it on their own. Okay. And for Sora as well lah, Azrul, if let's say you can have like a certain template for Sora, ask the students to fill in the useful phrases for each of the step. What are the phrases that they want? The expressions that they prefer. I prepared a sample script for my students, what are the phrases so that we can show variety of expressions for the discussion. But for the really, really, really weak one, I don't think that you have to have like a wide variety of expressions. You are talking about the reluctant and weak learner yang tak main sekolah and things like that. You can also have a very repetitive as long as the discussion happen. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Lon Hunter, I really hope that I am answering your question. Okay, and yeah,
Yeah.
kita
Any
dah
other
selesai ya.
questions, students?
Any other question? Okay, so now is the Q&A. Any question? I pun ada tak lagi any issue with your speaking test? If let's say we talk already about points. If let's say students dapat point yang dia tak faham, did we talk on that? I think we did.
Yes, we did. We did touch on that.
We did kan? We did touch on that. Yeah. Any other question from the students? Are you allowed to ask your teacher to translate the question for you? No. Are you allowed to ask your teacher to paraphrase the question for you? No.
I think one more major problem is that after the 2 minute discussion is up, they have 1 minute to make decision, which is the best point. They are not given time to prepare, to choose which is the best point. So what normally happen is that students, they wait until the interlocutor give them a cue to continue. So here I think they are wasting some time already. Has this happened to your students?
Mm,
1 minute part where they have to decide which is the best point. They're not
yeah,
given
yeah,
any
yeah.
time, right? They have to
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
away start the discussion, right?
Yeah.
yeah, most of the students, they tend to wait a cue from the interlocutor to start.
Oh, no, no, no. You don't wait. You dah tahu dah.
Yeah.
Memang you are not going to be given time for you to think.
Yes, yes.
So once the interlocutor finish, reading the question, you have to start immediately. There's many ways of doing this. You can sort of have the good students to start first. The good student choose which one he or she feels, um, comfortable, and then speaker two the can choose a different point. But then again, speaker two boleh lah tambah ayat sikit. But then on second thoughts, I think I have to agree with you. So I guess because I think that your idea makes more sense. So I guess I agree that this point is better. So that already you make a conclusion. Because sometimes students tak tahu bila nak talk about just one point. A bit difficult. But if let's say both of you talk about your own point, and then speaker two to just pilih whichever points, just say on second thoughts, I agree that your ideas is better, and therefore I have to agree that the main reason why people prefer to shop online is because it gives them better prices. Macam tu. Okay, teacher, what happened if I repeat my friend's idea?
Yeah, I
It's
think we.
okay. It's okay. In Sora memang you're going to repeat your friend's idea. It's all right. But here you have to acknowledge that that idea is from your friends. You have to say, Amirul, yes, Lone Hunter, I understand. I think you make so much, what you said makes so much sense, when you say this. So I have to agree with you on that. Macam tu. Lone Hunter say, ask, kalau tak sempat habis 6 poin tu kena potong markah. No, tak kena potong markah. Okay, kita tak ada potong-potong markah for no reason. If let's say you have a really good discussion, but then you only manage to cover 3 points, it's okay. If you can only cover 4 points, that is okay too. Kalau ayat topik tu tak masuk, alamak. What is this, Noreen Izati? I tak berapa faham your question. Kalau ayat topik tu tak masuk. Okay. What do you mean by that? Any other question? Students, I don't think we will have any more speaking session after this. Betul tak Azhar? Kalau when I look at the schedule,
Yes, yes. There's no more speaking session.
there's no more speaking session. Yeah.
So maybe if there's any, Form 4 students joining us, should you have any question, you can just ask us. Your final exam for speaking will be on the 28th, if I'm not mistaken.
28th. Yeah, we will start on
Yeah.
28th.
Right? 28th. Yeah. So any other
Apa lagi?
questions, students?
What other issues? I pun macam lupa dah. What other issues kalau ayat topik tu tak masuk ni, I tak faham ni. Noreen, if you don't mind, can you please ask, reword your question so that we can address that? Okay. So if I, can sum up what I'm trying to share with the students tonight is, as long as you can carry out a discussion, as long as you demonstrate, that you can begin a conversation. Shall I start? Do you mind if I start first? You are able to respond to your partner in an appropriate way. Yeah, I totally agree with you when you say if you can keep the conversation going. No, my reason for saying this is that if you can ask for your partner's question, if you ask your partner's question, what do you think about this point? Do you have anything to add? Can you take turn with your partner, speaking when it's your turn, but also giving your partner the chance to speak? Semua ni cover in Sora. So, yeah, please lah.
Yeah, so in short, use Sora. Yeah.
In short, yes, Sora.
Okay, students, any more questions? It's already 9:30.
It's already 9:30.
Yeah. So I guess if there's no more questions, so we would like to wish all of you the very best of luck for your upcoming SPM. Yeah. Okay. And also to the Form 4 students, all the best for your upcoming final exam. All right. See you
Mm.
again in the following session with the other English teachers. Yeah.
With the other English teacher.
Yeah.
No,
Not us.
not us, not us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any last
Yeah.
final word from you? Yeah.
I would. Yeah. Again, I think it's what to ask if he give ideas but not related. If he give ideas but not related to the topic. Mm, okay. If your friends give ideas but not related to your topic, that is okay. Don't think too much about this. Um, it will only affect your overall performance mark, but it will not affect your communicative competence. You see, kalau kata you tersalah cakap or tersalah faham, just sekali saja for this particular one. Definitely we cannot penalize you for that one mistake you make. So, stop focusing on the little mistakes that you make, but look at the bigger picture here. Learn how to improve your communicative competence score because memang my friends from other states pun, yeah, they have done this. Memang you can score a lot for communicative competence. You can get 6, you can get 5, you can get 4. I mean, kalau you really use sora-sora, you cannot get below than 3, 4. Mesti 4 ke atas lah. Okay, but yeah, probably grammar a bit low. But then if you use sora-sora, we have already given you with the structure, right? And definitely, probably that's why I said when you want to give reason, don't elaborate it, don't give a long reason so that you avoid making that grammar error. When you use sora-sora, you will, minimize the chance, the probability of you making grammar error. Okay. So yeah, I wish you all the best for your upcoming SPM and for your apa nama ni end of year exam for the Form 4. I strongly advise you to go through the previous. Um, Hi Suhail, previous, what do we call that? Go back to your previous go back to the previous videos, lessons that we had with Mrs. Zanuri. Mrs. Zanuri shared with you how to expand your ideas, think out of the box. That is a really good session. Please go through that. I've already shared with you Sora Sora. Go through that. I've already explained there how to carry out Sora Sora in detail. So do that. Make sure that if you watch it, your partner watch it as well, so that both of you know what you need to do for your speaking test. And then we have already, Mr. Azra already covered listening with Mr. Yazid, and then Imran and I covered listening as well. So we have like 2 sessions on listening itself. So go through those sessions, to prepare you for your upcoming listening test. Okay. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for being with. Thank you very much Azro. First time doing it with you. Thoroughly
Yes, yes.
enjoyed it.
Thank you to you too. Yes, I enjoyed it as well. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye everyone.